Welcome to episode 7 of The Hot Slice. I'm creative director Josh Keown.
And I'm executive editor Denise Greer.
Denise, today we have on the program, personally, one of my favorite pizza makers in the world, Chris Decker of Metro Pizza.
Can I tell you how excited I am to have Chris on the show? I drool over his Instagram every day. Every single day.
Yeah, at everything but anchovies on Instagram. When we're in our test kitchen, I'm looking at his photos, and then we're trying to, make pizzas, and I'm just like, everything looks terrible compared to what Mr. Decker is putting out there for the world to see.
Yeah, his pizza making. He's with Metro Pizza in Las Vegas, and he's just a dynamite pizza maker. He knows what he's doing, and he does it so well.
He's an absolute artist of his craft. So sit back and enjoy the conversation with Mr. Chris Decker.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, art director at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a short commercial break. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. And now, back to the slice.
Today we are joined by one of the very best pizza makers in the world. He's also got a pretty great Instagram as well. Mr. Everything But Anchovies himself, Chris Decker of Metro Pizza, is here with us today on the Hot Slice. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, actually, I'm going to start with a little funny story. We were trying to come up with names for the Hot Slice, and Everything But Anchovies. I was like, man, Everything But Anchovies would be the perfect title for a podcast, but I was like, nope, Decker's already got it sewn up. It's
You'd let us borrow it, right?
I would. I'd change everything for you guys.
No, we could ask you to do that for sure. So, but I was like, man, that would be the perfect name for a podcast. So if you ever want to start a podcast, you just go ahead and just roll with that name. I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. All right. So what's up with you right now, Chris? What's going on?
Nothing, just trying to navigate through life like everyone else, I think. It's every day seems to be a new challenge, that we're faced with, and try to just avoid the news at all costs. And
yes, absolutely.
Just try to, I watch it every once in a while just to stay, to see what's going on, make sure like the world is still intact. But, just try to stay on top of everything, try to keep, our community safe, our employees safe, myself safe, my family, and, just do the best we can with that.
So what's the current like status as far as like dine in to are you 50% or are you even allowing dine in right now? What are you guys going through at Metro Pizza?
Yeah, right now we are allowed to have 50% capacity dine in. We haven't hit a full restaurant yet, which is nice because even at 50%, I can still seat over 100 people here. So I wasn't too keen on that anyway.
Yeah.
But luckily, dine-in's been about 25%, somewhere around there, of our sales. It's still a majority takeout and delivery, which is great for all of us.
Right.
Not so great for the servers and the front of the house, but it's a lot easier to control that flow of takeout and delivery than it is dine-in. And one interesting thing, I tell people this, just pretty much every day. Everyone that walks into our takeout area has a mask on. And everyone that dines in, it's like a struggle. And it's so weird because it's like, I'm just like, I just don't get it. Like it's posted on the door, it's posted at the host stand. It's like everywhere you go, it is, so it's really interesting to me. And one thing, I spoke with John about it before, and he's like, well, the takeout customer is still health conscious. They're still worried, the dine-in customers, like, whatever the hell happens. And
yeah, we're over it.
Yeah. But, it's like, and I'm a Libra, so I always see the balance. I understand where those people are coming from. I get it, but we're still trying to keep ourselves safe. It's not like, you guys have all seen it. It's not, the mask isn't for you, it's for us.
Exactly.
It's like, it's just one of those things. And like yesterday was a super trying day. So I saw Pete's post and I was like, yeah, man, it's like, it's too much sometimes. Like everyone wants to fight with you. And it's like, I'm not going to have a fight about it. Just like, we have a couple of options. Like if people come and they don't have a mask, I said, well, what we can do is we can take your order and you can take it to go and we'll bring it to you in your car. We numbered our parking spots in the parking lot. You just tell us what number you're in. We'll
Great
bring
idea.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can have it. You can head home if you don't want to wait and I'll deliver it for you. I'll have our delivery company bring it to you. We have that option.
I mean, you're giving them every like, I mean, that's
every
just,
avenue.
literally to their house.
And then third, if you absolutely want to stay, I bought individually wrapped masks and I'll sell them to you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right. That's pretty good.
Unfortunately, I can't give them away because it costs us money.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and the wrapped ones are, they're pretty expensive and now hard to get. So, I mean, I charge you $2. You know, it's not like I'm trying to make any money off it.
Right.
It's just, I'm just trying to keep everyone safe. So I try to come, just like everything in life, I try to come at you with a solution rather than a problem. It's not like I'm throwing up my arms saying, well, it looks like you can't eat here. I'm giving you 3 options. You know, pick any of those 3 that you want, and hopefully it works out and everyone's happy. You know,
Yeah.
luckily it's been okay.
If they don't pick any of those options, it's just not meant to be. Okay, it's just
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I told you, you know, we've had some pushback from people and everything. A lot of, you know, stuff that you wouldn't believe that people would say to someone about just putting a mask on. And just let your mind go wherever you want to go with that. And I told John, I said, you know, it's funny because these are people that supposedly like us. Like they're coming here to eat, and then they're dropping the F at you all the day, and you're like, whoa. It's like,
hang on.
It's just, you know, it's just pizza. You know, it's just, we want you to have fun. It's just, we want to be safe. So that's kind of where we're at.
Something tells me at the end,
many of that.
Yeah, something tells me at the end of the day, you guys are going to be okay, though. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you know, I hope everyone is okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, it's just we have to battle through this, you know, for whatever reason. So, you know, on top of everything, running a restaurant throughout the day, all the weird things that happen throughout the day, throwing that on there on top, you know, it's been a struggle.
Right.
You know,
right. That's just,
you know, it's just hard. You know.
Well, at least you have the sanctuary of that make line, you know, that pizza line.
Yeah. And Jeremy knows because he was here. I'm always hiding behind those pizza boxes. Like I have all my boxes lined up, and I'm hidden behind there.
It made yourself a pizza fort. It's what you made.
Yeah. So I always tell them, well, that's the only place for the boxes, and it's true, it is. But I also it's my little hiding spot. So.
I gotta say, you've taken your pizza making to a whole new level. Are you applying a therapeutic approach to your pizza making right now? Because from what I've seen on your Instagram right now, I mean,
it's
just
next level, man.
Perfection. It's like art.
Thank you so much.
On a pizza.
You know, it is therapeutic. You know, I do it for me. Like the whole thing was, I just tried to get whatever's in my head out. You know, and
what I mean, I was gonna get here at some point, but just kind of take us through that process of like, it gets in your head like that. I mean, like, you know, from the very thought to like, hey, when it ends up on Instagram or it ends up on the menu.
Yeah. So I'll think of something, or like I'm inspired by so many people, places, and things. Like I love going out to eat. That's one of my favorite things, which has been tough during this whole time also, because I love going out to restaurants. I love that feeling. But, you know, luckily we do have Instagram, so I'm still able to follow all my favorite chefs and see what they're doing. And, you know, everyone's taking up bread making, which is really funny to me. Like, it's so funny. But, you know, it's just, I find inspiration everywhere, I guess. You know, I just think about dishes that I really like, or things that I really like, and I just try to put them together and try to present it in a unique kind of fun way. And it might even be something as simple as like, you know, sausage, peppers, and onions. But if I present it a certain way, you know, that's I guess the creativity part of it is you know, it's all about our interpretation of whatever that dish is or that pizza is. And there's a lot of people that see my stuff and they're like, it's not pizza. It's not pizza. Okay. You know, like, you're entitled to your opinion, but I tell them all the time, I make pizza and I work in a pizzeria. So like, to me, it's pizza, and I understand where they're coming from. You know, I get it. They're entitled to their opinion, I try not to fight with anybody about anything. Like I'm on a peaceful journey. So
just tell them you're an artist and move about your way. It's like, hey, it's art, man. It's okay. It may not be pizza, but it's art. Okay. So
yeah.
So I mean, that, the whole process is I'll think about things that I like or see, and then I'll try to, present it in a unique, fun way, and hope people like it. It's not only for people, it's for me. It was just that whole Instagram thing started with me as a way to get my, as a photo diary of,
right.
Like, people have sketchbooks, they have photo albums. Like, that's my photo album. I mean, that's just the way that I can to describe it. Like, I appreciate it.
It's a nice,
say all those things.
Right. It's a nice little catalog for you to go back to. Like, hey, let's revisit this seasonal thing that I made 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was how I was feeling. It was how I was feeling at the time. And you can go back 3 years and see how it's developed and how I've developed as a pizza maker and all of those other things. It's like,
let's talk about that for like, you've been making pizzas since like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
I think you and I are probably around the same age. We're still, young guys, but you've been making pizzas for like maybe
we're young. What?
I don't feel it. I'll tell you.
You've been making pizzas for a quarter century. Does that make you feel a little older now? Okay. So so how has, first from just looking out, like how has the pizza scene evolved, which is crazy, and just in the last 10 years, but like how have you come along, because you started at Metro Pizza, right, under John?
Well, I started in upstate New York. I'm originally from Binghamton, upstate, and I made basically like drunk pizza there. I worked Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, night at night till 5 a.m. on I lived in a college town.
Was it just like a slice shop kind of thing?
Yeah, so it was just people were dumping cold cheese on top, and just force feeding themselves before they went, as soon as we, bars closed and so on and so forth. But, that was where I kind of fell in love with it, because I kind of saw, I originally started cooking. I worked in my town. There's the Mets AA affiliate. And I worked at the catering department there, catering for the skyboxes in the baseball stadium. So that was where I got my first taste of it. And then the girl that worked that, the hostess, she was like, oh, my boyfriend's opening a pizzeria if you want to do something at the end of the season. So that's kind of how that started. And then I started making that kind of drunk pizza. And then I came out to UNLV, and I didn't want to go home one summer. And I was looking in the paper when you had to look in the paper for a job back then. And they were hiring at Metro Pizza for a busser. So I went and applied. And I actually talked with John I can still picture it, at the Flamingo and Decatur restaurant, like the old school retro Metro one. Yeah. And I said, well, I can do this, but I make pizza. So he had me go make a pizza, and then I started that night, and then I never left.
Wow. Wow. I think you impressed John.
Well, I was just, I worked the ovens that night, and growing up, I've told this story 100 times, but growing up in this pizza business, like John, when I worked the line every day, John would stretch, I topped, and then his dad worked the oven. Wow. And just picking up on that, that dynamic every day kind of pushed me to be better every day and try to be better every day. And I learned a lot, and I just, I listen a lot. I listen probably more than I talk.
Yeah.
And
it's a good trait to have.
Yeah, I try anyway. And and that's it. I just soak up as much as I can. Like every time Tony is around, I just want to listen. He's a super funny storyteller, which you guys already know.
Right, for sure.
Anytime,
absolutely.
Tony Geminiani's around, I just want to listen, or anybody on that team, on our team, and at all, or any pizza maker at all. I want to listen to what they're saying and what they're doing and why they do what they do. And it's always interesting.
And that's
why they do things a certain way, or if they ask you and you tell them exactly what you do, and then they do the complete opposite, and then they call you later and say, well, it didn't do what I wanted to do. And then I ask them about it, and I said, well, you didn't do what I told you. You did the complete opposite. That's why, such and such didn't work or whatever. But it's always fun to kind of get in people's psyche and figure out why they're the way they are and why they make pizzas and why they do things. And, that's our big thing is when people make dough, they're like, well, I use this bucket and I use this spoon. And there's always a story with that. I think it's super romantic. And I love that about independent family-owned pizzerias. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Well, we recently we recently spoke with Audrey Kelly of Audrey Drain's Pizza Garage, and she said that she learned to make Sicilian pizza from you. So like, do you get a lot? I mean, like now, now you're a master. So it's like,
No, I'm learning every day.
Learning. But now do you get a lot of people from the pizza community coming to you for questions and whatnot?
Yeah. And I always answer, and I'm always honest, and I'm always truthful, and I'll tell you exactly whatever you ask me and more. Like I learned that from John. There's no secrets.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're making someone else better. What is that? How does that hurt the world? And that's kind of how I live my life also. And, just try to make other people around you better. They might be a better pizza maker than you. Who cares? At the end of the day, they're going to have their customer. You're going to have yours. And, it's making someone else better and happier. And there's no reason to hold any of these secrets. And you guys will know if and when you ever come to the restaurant again, like I'll take you in the back. I'll show you what flour we use. I'll show you the tomato, why we use this and why we use that. And, you're going to find your own thing, what makes you tick and what you like better. And you might have a tomato company that you like better than ours or whatever it is, but there's no secret, about anything. I'm always willing to help, and hopefully I've helped people. It means a lot to me that Audrey says that, because to me, she's one of the best pizza makers that I've ever seen. Watching her make a pizza, it's like listening to your favorite music and just watching her work. Right. It's amazing to see her. So I really appreciate that. And I don't even think I gave her that much help, really. She's so talented. I may have given her a point or two, like try this or this, but
she just ran.
She's the magic. Trust me, she's the one. I don't know how much I influenced her to be amazing. Her Sicilians are great.
So Chris, we hear great things about your Sicilian pie. So why don't you just kind of go into detail and describe the pie?
Yeah. So like I tell everyone, the most important thing is time. Like I'm lucky enough to have the space to store the dough and to allow it to ferment for 3 to 5 days. And I tell everyone they come here and I work with them and I show them exactly how to do it. And I take them out 7 or 8 hours before I'm going to use them, really get them nice and soft and warmed up. And I just stretch them out, put them in the pan. I put them on a speed rack and I cover that, with a rack cover it. And I go home and go to bed. And when I get here in the morning, they're proofed and risen, and I par bake them. Like it's really a super simple thing that I think anyone can do. So it always amazes me when everyone thinks that it's like such an amazing pizza or like the best Sicilian they've ever had, because I'm just kind of going through the motions. And I think with that, just like anything else, I just care about it.
Right. But yeah. So you get a 5-day on that? Wow.
Yeah, we try to get 5. It's sometimes it's closer probably to 3. It just depends. Like I've been able to get 5 during this quarantine thing because I know, it did slow down a little bit. So I'm able to, I could produce a little bit more dough and we're not going through it as fast. But we do try to get 3 to 5 days. Yeah.
I'm always concerned. I'm always thinking about like storage, because you are storing those in pans. So, yeah. How are you able to, fit everything in?
Well, so we have a bakery here also. So in the back at night, like the last thing I do every night, I go in there and I make the Sicilians and I just put them on the speed rack. And then, when I cool them, I only make like 15, 20 a day. And then, because we freeze them. So I make them and then cool them and wrap them and freeze them. And we freeze them because just like when you make toast, right? It's better after you like kind of freeze it and then and toast it again. It's lighter, it's crispier.
I didn't know
that water evaporates.
I didn't know that either. I'm gonna try it immediately.
Yeah. So that's one important thing. And everyone's like, is it important to freeze it? And like, to me it is. I don't know. Like I just stick with what I know works. It took me, 3 or 4 months to get where I'm at. And, so I just do it that way. To me, it makes a difference. To anyone else, it might not. But so I cool them and we double wrap them in saran and I stack them too high and I freeze them. Once they're set, you can stack them up on top of each other. And then I just pull out what I need for the day. And, I'm here in Las Vegas. It's 110 degrees today. So like you take it out of the freezer, it's completely thawed in 30 minutes anyway. So if I need more, I just pull them as I need them. And I just try to stay on top of that, making 15 or 20 a day, every day. And then, I go through them every week. So, I'm lucky in that respect, and I'll have to change that at some point. But the freezing to me definitely helps.
Oh, wow. That's pretty. So you go through about 15 to 20 Sicilians. You sell about that many a day?
It just depends. Some days we sell 5, some days we sell 30. I only have 20 pans, so that's why I decided on that number. That's what I have. So I just make it work. And like I said, it just depends. Some days I'll sell 20 in an afternoon, and some days we'll sell 20 in a day. It just depends. You never know. Luckily, I haven't run out yet. I just try to stay on top of it. It's a process.
Hey, you could always use that marketing angle. Hey, we have 15 Sicilians today, so come and get
That's
it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't want to sell out.
Right.
I don't want someone to come here and be like, oh, I really wanted that Sicilian, and now I can't get it. Like,
Very true.
so I just try to stay on top of it as much as I can, and just blow through it. We have 6 stores in town, so they're if they can't get it from me, they'll be able to get it at another location.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just as good.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, art director at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a short commercial break. Your friends at Message on Hold are happy to introduce our voice-over IP service. Message on Hold Phones is our solution for phone service. If the internet goes down, it's no problem. You can still take online and phone orders. No busy signal ever. Professionally recorded, customized messaging for your business ensures that your customer gets the message that you want delivered to them every time. Save money and get new phones. Visit www.messageonholdservice.com/phones. If you're looking for a POS provider that truly understands pizzerias, look no further than PDQ. Designed from the ground up for the exact needs of pizzerias, PDQ POS has been doing pizza ordering, delivery, and takeout for over 32 years. With all the functionality you need in today's environment, including online ordering, rewards, seamless integration, contactless functionality, and so much more, PDQ is your single source for, well, everything. Learn more today at pdqpos.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430. And now, back to the slice.
Hey, Chris, how many styles are you doing there at Metro?
Well, our original, like our classic, is like a New York style pizza. Our regular pizza is like New York style, but we do a super thin crust. We do stuffed pizzas. We do the Sicilian. I'm always doing something. So like I'm dabbling in the Detroit now because I'm just fascinated by it, and I have been for a while, and I'll get off it and then I'll get back on it. And like, I've been working on that. So I have that up here. There's some things that you can only get up here.
Okay.
So, but we got 3 or 4 different things. Well, our tagline is we're America's neighborhood pizzeria, and we chose that because Las Vegas is a melting pot. Up until like this generation of Las Vegans, nobody was actually born here. Like there was very few people that were born and raised here, and now there's a lot of that. So everyone was coming from someone else. So we wanted to be like, however you got it in your hometown, wherever the hell that was. We tried to make it that way for you. If someone said, hey, do you make, St. Louis style or whatever, tell me what you want and I'll try to recreate that for you. Super thin and crispy cut in squares, I got you. You want a round pizza cut in 6 instead of 8, I got you. Whatever it is, we just try to make the customer come here and enjoy that experience. We want to be your neighborhood spot. And, I'm lucky because my restaurant really is in a neighborhood. There's houses, like our parking lot wall there's a neighborhood right next door. And we're really in this neighborhood. We're in between 2 schools.
Wow.
So you can't get much more neighborhoody than that, other than the freeway being in front of us. We're right smack dab in the middle of Northwest Las Vegas and Centennial Hills. And
so you have a lot of families.
great.
So you have a lot of families coming in there, and you like I said, know those families and whatnot. So.
Yeah, a ton of it's all families, and that's what makes it interesting. That you get that couple generations of people. They'll come in with their grandparents, so it'll be grandparents, parents, kids. It's like you see that, and John, I'm sure, has told you guys the stories too, where he's done like first communions, and then like the confirmation, and then a wedding, and then ultimately the funeral. Like you
all the
just
high
go
points
through that whole thing. We've been in business since June 1st, 1980. So casinos don't even last that long here in town. So it's kind of nice to be part of that can be, we're really, really lucky to have that and be blessed with that, because it's not easy, for sure.
So, I mean, we briefly touched on it, but like learning under John Arena, like kind of talk us through that and what that experience has been like.
Yeah. I couldn't have picked a better person. We just get along. He understands me and I understand him, and we kind of have the same philosophies, a lot of the same philosophies on life and people. A lot of times he calms me down. Like I'll get upset about something and he's like, what are you worried about that for? Like, and he'll tell me a story, and then it all goes away. He speaks my language when it comes to certain things, and he knows when to let me go, and he knows when to reel me in, and all of those types of things. He's kind of like my handler. Josh, you'll appreciate. He's like I'm Kamala, and he's Kimchi. He's the only one that can control me, right. From parts unknown. But he is, that's just kind of the, it's been great, and I see so many people reach out to him day in and day out. Like there's times when he usually comes up to see me on Saturdays. He's not in here every day, especially now. And I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. We talk every day, but I haven't seen him. And, just come and hang out, and just like, I'll get like 3 or 4 words and then somebody's calling him, or then I'll get another 3 or 4 words and then somebody's texting him, and then another 3 or 4 words and he's doing a demo in the bay. There's always something. So it's been really interesting to see that take off over time too, because he deserves all of that recognition.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great leader right there. I mean, for for him to know how to do all that with you, it talks a lot about his leadership.
And everyone loves him. Everyone loves him, and I'm lucky enough that I kind of grew up in this business with him, and it's been a great ride. I can't complain about that at all.
Being able to teach that to other people and explain it and just have that passion, it seems like he's been able to instill that into you, where you're now, you're spreading that to others as well.
Yeah, you try, you try to leave the world a better place. You try, and you hope that people are listening to you if they ask you a question, or they, want help. And it's the same thing I tell the kids here. I work, there's a ton of high school kids that work here with me. And I tell them, I don't want you to view this as just a job. Like chances are you're not going to be here the rest of your life like me. You're going to find something else. But I want to instill in you how you need to treat people, and how you need to work with people, and what to expect. And whether you're going to be a mechanic or a plumber, or you're going to be a bellman at the hotel, whatever the hell it is, I just want you to be the best at that. That's why I need you to give a shit while you're here.
Yeah, they'll take, you're going to take something away from that positively.
Yeah. And it's been really, really rewarding to see, like, I still talk with a lot of former employees, and they say, I remember when you told me this, or I remember when we did this. And it's weird because a lot of the kids now, I'm just as old as their parents. And some of them I'm older than, which is really creepy because I still listen to like hip hop and like and all of those other things. And like we like similar music and stuff, but I'm like, they don't view me as I'm old enough to be their dad, even though it might even be older than their father, which is really, really, really trips me out sometimes because I don't think of myself being that old.
Right.
But until I look in the mirror and I see the gray in my beard, and then I'm like, okay, I'm definitely that old. But so it's just, you kind of take that on too. And that's, like you said, that's one thing I've learned from John. You just try to teach people, not just about pizza. It's not, pizza in our world, pizza is everything, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a whole world out there that you need to pay attention to, and certain things that, you just need to be better at. So I try to apply that through pizza. If you give a shit about this or X, Y, or Z, then you're not going to automatically leave here and start caring about something. I want you to start caring about something here. You know what I mean? And sometimes it works with kids and sometimes it doesn't.
Right. And like I said, all you can do is put it out there for them, so.
Yeah.
So when Katie and Jeremy were out there in December, there was kind of maybe a talk of you maybe kind of starting your own concept. And I know the world has completely fallen apart since then. But is there any updates you got going on with that?
There really isn't any updates. It was kind of weird how that came out, right? Like came out at a weird time because I got so many messages and calls that day, and I was like, oh my God. It's still, it's still in the works. I told everyone this too, because people call me and ask me about it all the time. It hasn't died. It's just I'm trying to keep Metro afloat. Without Metro being afloat, that will never happen.
Right.
So
everything's on the back burner, basically, which is everything right now.
It just, and honestly, I'm in a weird way. this helped that because I never in a million years wanted to have anything takeout at my new place.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't. And, now it's going to be the way that the world is.
Right. It's going to be a necessity.
It just is. And I'm okay with that. My wood fire, the dough that I use for wood fired anyway, I've already kind of adapted it to travel a lot better than a normal wood fired pizza and so on and so forth. So, nothing's really stopped my mind. Obviously you see on the Instagram, my mind is still going.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking about those things. Everything's still in place. It just, it just had to chill out for a little bit while we try to get through this.
Yep.
Let's kind of talk about that for a second. What does it take to adapt a dough like a wood-fired product, to adapt it for a takeout? I mean, we do have a lot of folks that, that are in a wood-fired environment or have products that maybe don't carry out or deliver well. What are you doing to make those things work?
Well, first of all, that's another great thing that came out of this, right? You got to see everyone thinking about how am I going to make this product better to go. You saw it like unfold in front of your eyes through this past 3 or 4 months, and how people have adapted. Like the first person that I think about when I think of that is Jonathan Goldsmith at Spocanopoly. Like he had no takeout, right? Like zero,
right.
None, and he completely adapted that business to do takeout, which Neapolitan pizza, we all know,
right?
Isn't
doesn't travel so well.
Yeah, got to eat it right away.
and he did, and it's. First of all, you guys know he's an amazing person.
Yeah.
And just how people were thinking on their feet. So I mean, I always used, going back to the dough question, I always used this dough that was a little bit Italian flour and a little bit of American flour anyway, so to give it that strength. So I wasn't too concerned about putting it in a box because I used it. I do a lot of events out here. And so I kind of formulated a dough where whether you stay and ate the pizza, that was cool to go, it was going to work. That came about. It's just a little bit of Italian flour with some American flour, and it traveled so much better, and it held up so much better. And it still had structure, but it was still soft enough that you could tell it was wood fired and cooked fast, and all of those other attributes that wood fired pizza has that we all love so much. But it just had a little bit more strength, and it was able to hold up to some travel. Of course, when you close the box, you get what you get, but it wasn't a soupy mess when we did it to go, which was a positive note for me. So I'm lucky in that respect that it was already kind of built in that way, even though I didn't want to go that route. But as much as I love going out to eat and going out to restaurants, I've also loved dining at home the past couple of months and ordering to go and curbside and all those things. I put pizza in a box every night. Not every night, but at least 3 or 4 nights a week. I make pizza and bring it home from my wife and I. And I half cook it, and I have a baking steel in the oven, and she preheats the oven when I tell her I'm getting ready to leave, and then.
That's fantastic.
And then that's how we do it. And I have that little wood fired oven that I have at home that every once in a while we'll tinker with on the weekends. But we kind of have a system. And like I tell people all the time, we sell the pizza kits, and I'll do whatever you want to do to make pizza at home. It's kind of like, if you look at it, I don't know how many Starbucks you guys have there, but here they're on like literally every corner. In some plazas, there's like 3 Starbucks like in one plaza, right? But if you look at that model, they give you everything. They'll sell you every single thing you can to possibly make coffee at home, and people still go.
Right.
It's fascinating, right? They'll sell you the coffee. They'll sell you the machine. They'll sell you the filters. They'll sell you the syrups. They'll sell you every single thing for you to do it at home, yet you still go.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, especially, if you're working, till, 6 or 7 and get the kids down or whatnot. And by 8 o'clock, you're like, the last thing you want to do is turn on the oven or do anything like that. So it's like, and pizza, like I said, you grew up getting pizza delivered or going to a pizza place. So it was always kind of there for you. So getting a pizza delivery is a special thing. We do it on Friday nights. It's our special thing on Friday nights, and we look forward to it. So,
and it's really important that you said that, because that was one thing that I noticed during this whole time too. People needed that sense of normalcy. Yeah. We're still busiest on Fridays, even during, even when we were doing just takeout, it was still Friday night's pizza night. Like, I think it's like instilled in people's brains, like Friday night's pizza night,
even more so now, actually, because every operator we talk to, Friday nights, or like Super Bowl Sundays, every one of them now, so I think
It's
like
great.
even more so.
We've been hearing Thursday through Sunday are like Super Bowls.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
from a lot of
and they're right.
operators.
Tuesdays even, it's just never know. Like for all of a sudden, our Wednesdays are like super busy, and I don't know what
Wednesday.
that has to do with, but yeah, it's crazy. But I'm happy about it. We already luckily enough, we already had that built-in takeout and delivery, so it wasn't that hard for us to adapt to it, and it's really interesting. I've learned a lot about people and a lot about business this past couple months for sure.
Pizza can live through anything, I think, at this point.
You're right. Yeah. And then going back to the whole Instagram thing like that, I just want to make, I want to make people smile and make people happy and make people think about pizza, whether it's mine, someone else's, you love it, you hate it. As long as you have an opinion about it and you're talking about it, that's great. Everyone has their own favorite pizza maker and pizza place. That's what makes the world go round,
Yeah. Well, Chris, thanks so much for taking some time out today to join us on the Hot Slice.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We see each other at Expo and we get to talk for maybe like 5-10 minutes max because we're all going in different directions. So it was really good to just actually sit down and get
especially
a chat with you.
since we missed Pizza Expo this year.
Yeah. I know. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I didn't babble too much and we actually got some good content, but I appreciate it so much for you thinking about me and this, and I always enjoy seeing everyone's stuff on Instagram and Facebook and everything. It's good definitely during this time to all stay connected and be in each other's lives, like you said, because we did miss Pizza Expo and we all do kind of rely on that to get us through until the next one, So
all right, Chris, thanks so much, and
thank you guys.
Have a wonderful day.